Maybe you're out of a job. Maybe you've just had a divorce. Maybe you've put on a lot of weight. Maybe you're not making enough money and you have to own it. You'll say, okay, this is where I am. And I'm not saying that you have to accept it. I'm saying you have to own it so we can start the stage of setting the starting line. So many times we live a life in chaos and flux. And if we can just get a little bit of structure back into our life, we can start to take back control, the control that we feel we've lost. And today I'm diving into the Live 100 principles, the 9 principles that make up what the Live 100 program consists of. Before we get started, I'm Jason Rusi. This is the Live 100 podcast, a place we come to break the habits that no longer serve you so you can get the life you truly desire. And we start that through the course of the Live 100 program. And these are things I did in my life. I was just completely off track. I was completely disjointed. I wasn't getting the success or even any positive results. And I had to look upon myself and finally just take responsibility for the decision I was making, the choices I was making, and the results I was getting. And when I did that, it wasn't magic, but over time, it started to compound and I started to gain traction, get better, and just improve. And so I'm bringing you today the Live 100 program. It's built on 3 foundational blocks: breaking the habits that no longer serve you, so you can build momentum, so you can magnify the success you deserve. And the 9 principles starts with elevated self-awareness. So many times in life, we just are going through the motions. We're going through all these different things where we don't truly see how we're showing up. And in most moments, we're not showing up as our best self. We're showing up dejected, we're showing up negative, we're showing up angry, we're showing up bitter, we're showing up with all the things that are not what truly is our best self. So you have to start elevating your self-awareness about how you're acting, the words you're using, the thoughts you're having, and allowing yourself to take in. The second principle is owning it, owning where you are. Right now, maybe you're out of a job. Maybe you've just had a divorce. Maybe you've put on a lot of weight. Maybe you're not making enough money to just cut it. And you have to own it. You'll say, okay, this is where I am. And I'm not saying that you have to accept it. I'm saying you have to own it so we can start the stage of setting the starting line. Because number 3 is we have to look about where we want to be. We have to say, okay, where is that I want to be? And what are the habits and rituals I start to need to partake on to get there? And you start to have to work to refine and master those habits. That's a great thing for looking on to the new year, is that we to start mastering meaningful habits and rituals. Meaningful is that they have to serve some purpose to make us better. And that moves us into positioning ourselves for greatness. Because as you've gone up, you've become aware of how you're showing up. You start to own it, say, okay, here's where I am. I don't like it, but here's where I am. And the habits that I need to have to get to the place I want to be. Okay, now I need to start working on those habits. And now I'm here, but now I need to start positioning myself in my mind, in my body, in my soul for the greatness that's welcome to me. That means that the person I want to be, I have to start positioning myself to look upon that. And then intentionally taking the steps, putting in the work to start to get there. Because number 5 is intentional execution. You have to put in the work each and every day. When you don't feel like it, you still have to do it. In times that you're thrown off guard, you still have to come back in a positive nature. In times when you're not your best self or you're completely out of sorts, you still have to put in the work. And as you do that, you're starting to see success show up. You're starting to have better things happen than you were getting before. And you need to do it again when things fall apart, because the number 6 is being uncomfortably brave. Because as you grow out of where you are, as you start to change the narrative, you're going to have people push back against you. And maybe a family or friends that are not going to like the new you, the person that you need to become. They like you in a place you are because they're comfortable. They're used to that person. So you have to be uncomfortably brave for what's ahead. And you're going to face challenges. You're going to face resistance. You're going to face setbacks. And you have to be brave through all this to allow yourself to come out on the other side knowing that it's for you. It's for the best. And that allows you to move into the next phase. Principle number 7 is accelerated growth. Now you've owned it where you are. You've positioned yourself for greatness. You're taking the execution. You're using mastered habits and rituals. You're facing the adversity and you're pushing through. And things are starting to compound, are starting to move. And now it's time to accelerate your growth. It's time to put fuel on the fire. It's time to push forward, to go, go, go. Because now you're pushing the right direction. Everything is going downhill. And it's time for you to show what you're made of and what you deserve to have. And what's going to follow is principle number 8, awe-inspiring rise. You have little things happen, and then little things happen, and they're just getting better and getting better and getting better. And lo and behold, you start to see magnificent rise, not only in yourself, but in your nature, in your body, in your mind, in your soul, and just how you show up and the results you're getting, the feedback you're getting, and both just from mentally, physically, from other people, financially. It starts to rise in a way that you could never see possible, because that's where you are. You're in the block that you're magnifying the success you have. And the last piece, principle number 9, is being limitless. And it starts with the mind, to allow your mind to understand that all the setbacks that you started with were placed in your mind. All the things, the habits, everything that was holding you back was a learned habit, was a learned event that you put into your mind that kept you at bay, that kept you out there from taking the chance on yourself. And now your mind understands that the limits that have been proposed on yourself were arbitrary, were not real limits. And it's your time to be limitless. Be limitless in your ability to go out there and expand your future, to expand your desires, to expand your wants, to build and create and grow and live a life that truly is magnificent. That's what we want with you here with the Live 100 podcast. We want you to come here. We want you to look at what is capable and say, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to start taking steps and figure it out. What needs to keep me on course to get closer and closer and closer. And when times are tough, I'm going to still show up. Even when I don't want to, I'm still going to show up. And lo and behold, one day to the next day to the next day, it's going to get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And as I feel this, I'm going to build confidence and I'm going to build momentum and I'm going to grow and I'm going to gain and I'm going to progress and I'm going to help others around me. And lo and behold, the life that I lived weeks ago, years ago, decades ago, I can't even remember it because I've grown into such a person that's so far beyond that because I've put in the work on myself. It's time for you to take action. It's time for you to go out there and set the stage for what is possible in your life. And if you're asking yourself, man, I want to get started. Okay, go over to jasonurishi.com. There's a free assessment. You can take that. It can answer questions for you to put your mind to work, to say, okay, these are the questions I need to be asked myself today about where I am upon my journey so I can get started, so I can go and make a difference, not only in myself, but in others around me. And if you found this inspiring and you want, go over and leave us an honest rating and review. It helps us continue to get this show out to the masses. All right, that's what I have for you today. I'm Jason Urishi. This is the Live 100 podcast, the place you come to break the habits that no longer serve you, so you can live the life you truly desire. Let's do this.